transition from Gary Ross to Francis Lawrence. What did Lawrence bring to the table that really swayed the odds in his favour? Excuse the pun.
Well, first of all, the transition has been totally seamless because both directors respect the underlying material so deeply and the fans so deeply. They're not making their movie, they're serving this great franchise, and they're bringing all of their strengths. And Gary set the thing up with a great cast and a great adaptation of the book. Francis built on that, adding to the great cast and keeping it kind of in that world, if you know what I mean. And then making sure that the adaptation again was at that same high level, and just did a terrific job. He's built on it cinematically with amazing action and effects and an incredible design world, and he's so good at that, and he just fit right in with the cast and crew perfectly. Love him.
You've obviously kept Francis Lawrence along for the next two films.
Yeah, that's right.
He impressed you the first time around.
Oh yeah, so much. He fit right in, both in front of the camera with the actors and just how he worked with the cast right off the bat and with everybody behind the camera. And again, just growing the world was so important, but still respecting what we started with.
How did you decide where to split the next book down?
That's a really good question, and it was thought about very, very carefully for a really long time. So, you know, we talked about a few different ways to do it, and we finally came up with what we think is the right one. Again, because we all care so much about it. Suzanne was very involved with that too. So, just very carefully to answer your question.
So, at what point does it break down?
I don't know if I should give that away, but you'll see.
Give us a hint at least?
I really shouldn't. I'll get in so much trouble. In the middle somewhere.
Give us a page number.
I don't know. I don't even know if I wanted to tell you. I couldn't remember the page number.
We haven't heard from Suzanne Collins. Do you know if she's seen the film?
Yeah, she loves the film. She's seen it. She saw it in the editing room. She was on the set. She saw the final version. She loves it. She's just a little shy, so she doesn't like all the lights, camera, and action in the rain. But we love it.
There's quite a heavy political overtone, not even undertone to this film.
There really is.
Was there ever a concern about that and how it plays with audiences?
Oh, not at all. I think that it's exciting to have that because it just makes it all so real. It gives it some stakes that not only do the characters in the story have to deal with, but I think that's what we all relate to so much. We can see that future if we stay down this road. You know, it's everything she writes about, something that we can almost touch.
Because the character's very much expanded in the next ones as well, isn't she? Are you looking forward to that?
Yes, very much.
Is there anything you can tell us about Mockingjay?
No, I can't. Sworn to secrecy.
How do you feel about the fact that in the books your character has a lot more to do, and in the movie she kind of has a very small role to play?
You know, sometimes that's how it goes. The adaptations work the way they do, and they have to bend the story to serve the films and serve the film world. But I'm just proud to be a part of it and proud to represent a character that means a lot to people, even if she doesn't get as much screen time as she does in the book.
One of the most striking things about the books, obviously, is the appearance, sort of the skin dyeing and things like that. Have you been doing that? Been in hours in makeup, covered in
Yes,
paint?
definitely. It's an incredible makeup team on the film. Fee Neal and Nicoletta Scarlatos have done incredible magic on the makeup end of things, and I spent a lot of time in makeup, and I think people will be impressed with the looks that they see in this second film.
What is your favorite new look that's in the film?
Well, I had a few different looks. An amazing hairpiece that my stylist Joe Matke used in a bunch of different ways. It was fun to see them play with one palette and then use different colors and different shapes in every scene that I was in. So it's hard to pick a favorite. There's some amazing looks in there, and I hope the fans will agree.
What was it like to wear Trish Somerville's costumes?
Incredible. Trish is brilliant. She's incredible to work with. She's kind and really knows what she's doing, and she has such a great eye, and it just felt like an honor to work with her. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
How do you think Katniss's time in the games has affected Prim and the family?
I think it's definitely affected them, but it's almost obviously was a lot better, and she's just always working for her family, thinking about her family. In the end, I feel like Katniss is always thinking about Prim, and she goes to the Hunger Games and she does it for her family. So it's kind of, it's not the best thing that she goes into the Hunger Games, but it's the better thing when it comes down to it for her family.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy the expanded role? Bit more to do?
A little bit more. It was great. I was excited, and I have a couple really good scenes that I'm excited about. Yeah.
Presumably, the next one, it's even bigger. You sort of...
Yeah, my character grows bigger and bigger each time, which is exciting.
What's the difficulty? Is there any difficulties with being such a young actress with so many big stars that you work with?
Not really, because they're actually really great. I'm hanging out with like 20-year-olds. It's just kind of weird, but they're different in the way that they're like super inviting to me being only 13. It's like they're like, oh, come on, hang out. And we talk a lot about books, music, movies, acting. So it's fun.
It must be slightly, because obviously you're getting older at a rate of one year a year, and your character on screen is getting older a little bit less. Is it hard as you get older to sort of get in the mindset of?
I think it's getting easier actually to build to just think more and connect with the character even more as I get older and I'm more dedicated to what I'm doing.
Which was your favorite book?
I'd have to say probably Catching Fire actually.
Yeah?
Yes.
Why is that?
I think I really like Prim's character in Catching Fire, and I really like how it's kind of, you see the first hint of rebellion in Catching Fire.
And what's it like being here in London? It's amazing.
It's awesome. I've actually never been to London, so this is my first time, and I'm loving it, and all the fans are super sweet. It's exciting.
Have you got any time to explore the city?
I've been here for like 4 days already, so I got to go do all of the touristy things while I was here. Yeah.
Any famous spots?
I really enjoyed going on the London Eye. I kind of conquered a fear. I'm extremely scared of heights. So it was, my sister forced me to go on, but I really enjoyed it in the end, so it was fun. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
One of the world's most successful film producers now.
Well, thanks to all of you guys, it sure feels like it tonight.
What's been the biggest difficulty into turning such a famous book series into a movie series?
Well, I feel, honor bound to Suzanne Collins, who trusted me with these books to really deliver on their potential. They are books that are both great page turners, but also they are about so many things and they have so much to say. And so for me, it's that pressure I feel to make sure that I deliver on the promise of her books. And for the fans who love those books as much as I do, to try to make sure that, if we can, that no fan leaves disappointed, that people actually even come in saying, oh, it was even better than I thought.
On the subject of that promise of those books, they're quite overtly political. What do you want in terms of the audience to take away from the politics of the film?
I'd like people to be mindful of how our entertainment can so readily blind us to the growing gap between the haves and the have-nots, the 99% and the 1%. I feel this movie in particular, and the whole series, is a very, very powerful sort of indictment of war and the impact that war has on human beings. And all of these characters, these victors who've been sent back into battle, are scarred and carry with them the burden of having fought and now being asked to fight again. And both your country and ours, we've been at war for a decade, and I hope that these movies make people think about people who fight those wars for us and what they might be going through.
Presumably, as the series comes to a climax, both the US and the UK will be coming to elections. Do you hope that you'll have inspired people to become politically engaged?
Nothing would make me happier. I think that Katniss is a character who, although reluctant, takes on greater and greater concentric circles of concern over the course of these books and movies. And she starts out just looking out for her sister and her own family, and eventually takes on the concerns of her district, and eventually the concerns of her nation. And I hope that people who see these movies and read these books see that, yes, it's on all of us. If we want things to change, it's on us to change them.
The next book into 2 films.
Yes.
What was it that, I mean, what decision did you make? At what point did you think that it needs to be split there, and why?
We ultimately just felt that every book we've had to shear a little bit off in order to keep the momentum going. And every time we've been sort of okay with what we had to lose. Maybe, Madge falls by the wayside, that's a bummer, but more important to give time to Prim and Katniss. In this movie, Darius doesn't make the cut. There are characters who don't make the cut. But going into that next book, there's just too much richness, there's too much complexity. We felt like we would lose too much to condense it into one film. And so we had to work closely with Suzanne and Michael Arndt to really think about, well, where do we split them? And then we've had Peter Craig, a very, very gifted writer, come into Mockingjay, and he's done an amazing job for us of really bringing the 3rd book to life as 2 movies that hold their own.
So presumably the next one's a rescue mission and the final one's a cracked enough type take over the world mission.
We'll just have to see.
Congratulations! In such a big, huge cast with incredible actors, how does it feel to know that you steal every scene you're in?
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm up against some pretty amazing actors in every scene. I get more laughs than most, but it's a very intense movie, and Effie's the least intense character.
What was it like to wear Trish Somerville's costumes?
She's amazing. I think she's got an incredible eye. She's got a real sense of edge and rock and roll, and really push everyone to make truly cool and interesting choices.
In the book, Effie doesn't really seem to have that emotional feeling with the tributes. And in the movie, she seems to have more emotion and actually cares for them. As a fan of the book, how do you feel about that?
I actually always felt that in the books as well, Effie was a little maternal towards these guys, and being able to shoot a goodbye scene. But I just personally got very emotional on the day.
Very, very much.
Who had McDonald's?
Oh, I did.
Really?
BT could have been like a caricature in a lesser actor's hands. How important was it to you to keep him grounded?
Oh, well, it's not hard to, be grounded when you're surrounded by the type of actors that we have in this movie. There's a serious group. If actors can be at all serious, then this is a very serious group. Also zany and, loony, but really wonderful actors who, and we kind of work off one another and I think push one another and have a good time doing it. So it wasn't hard at all.
Congratulations on such a remarkable performance. There's such deep-seated anger with Johanna. Where do you think it all stems from? And was that difficult to channel?
Well, I think if you're forced to kill 24 young adults that you know are your equals and your peers, you would form a deep-rooted resentment inside of your belly that you would never know how to quell. And luckily, she's been able to find more socially adaptable forms of survival, like her sense of humor, her sexuality, her unpredictability, and yes, anger is a part of it, and violence, but there's a lot going on there, and there's a reason, because, all of the previous victors are broken individuals.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're standing up at all, it's amazing.
There's a lot of very impressionable young fans here. What do you hope they take away from this film?
I was hoping that they would take away, well, first of all, I hate saying take away, because it's like McDonald's. There's 17,000 themes in this film, some of them larger than the others, some of them more grand. This is an amazing thing right now. Thank you. So basically, I just hope that they walk away from this film wanting to have discussions with each other, discussions with their parents, discussions online, discussions with their teachers, and maybe they want to watch it a couple times to reopen new discussions and see new themes. There's so many beautiful things going on. I don't want to tell them what they should feel when they watch it. Let them hit it for the first time.
Do you hope that it will make them more politically engaged after watching the film then?
No, I hope that they're just more engaged more in humanity. F politics. I mean, there's a lot more going on in the world
politics comes later. First, you have to deal with the human part.
Thank you guys.
Francis, scenes in the arena are always a little bit difficult because on the one hand you want to make a really entertaining blockbuster, but at the same time you don't want to become the capital, you still have to condemn the violence. Is that a difficult line to tread?
No, well I think that not necessarily so, because I think it's not, for me it's not about using violence as entertainment as much as the themes of this movie is about the consequence of violence. So I'm actually more interested in the impact of the violence, the emotional impact, and the consequence of it. And you'll see when you see this movie that the characters are damaged from having been through the games the first time. And that's what these movies are about, and they only become more and more so as we go through. So for me, it's actually the opposite.
Did the challenge of adapting such a popular book draw you or scare you?
It drew me to it. I mean, I have to say, having such a rabid fan base is really exciting and comforting and energizing. It's really nice. Yeah, they wanted to rebel. Right?
We play so many
they should be cautious because there's going to be consequences, even if it's needed. That it's not.
No, they kind of each take a
idealized
different thing.
Thank you,
they're all so different. So I don't do the same thing every time. Hey!
Jennifer, fans here are so passionate. Have you ever had a burning ambition to be a dictator? Because if you want to storm Buckingham Palace right now, I think they'd follow you.
If I did what to Buckingham Palace?
You want to storm it with pitchforks and...
That's a good idea. What should we do? Just storm it just so we can hold the baby?
Yeah, just say Hunger Games fans, all right?
The whole thing and be like, I want to hold the baby!
What has been your favorite part about being an actress?
God damn it! Every time! That's that. And goodbye.
Jennifer,
my favorite part of being an actress, I think that it's really the only thing that I could do if I'm being realistic with myself. It's what I was made to do, so I just get to do what I love.
Jennifer, the film's got quite a strong political tone. What do you hope your fans, the thousands of fans, take from that?
How powerful just one voice can be.
Thank you.
Josh, there's so much more character development in this one.
Yeah.
Are you really happy that there's so much more for you to sink your teeth into this time around?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that in this movie you really get to see a lot more of who Peter is and who he's becoming with everything that's happening to him. This movie, the whole world really opens up. You see a lot more of Panem. You see the capital, the districts, and more of the characters. So for me, it was fantastic to get to show a lot more.
What was it like doing mouth to mouth with Sam Claflin?
I was pretending to be unconscious, so I really don't remember it all that well. You have to ask him.
Okay, we're gonna go for you.